Your rising sign doesn't just shape how people see you, it shapes your body, your energy, your instincts, and the way you physically move through the world. Most people think the ascendant is just your first impression or just how the world perceives you. But much like everything else in astrology, it goes a lot deeper than that. Astrologically speaking, your rising sign, aka your ascendant, it's your physical blueprint. When we want to know about the physical body, we can, of course, look to the sixth house of work and health. But the very first thing is your rising sign. Remember, your rising sign is the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon the moment that you were born. It's literally your moment of incarnation. And what incarnates when we're born? Our bodies. So, everything you want to know about the physical body, you can definitely delineate via the ascendant, aka rising sign. So, in this video, I'll be talking all about how your rising sign describes and is connected to your physical body. So, if you want to know more, stick around. You definitely don't want to miss this. Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. So, today we're talking about the rising sign, also known as the ascendant, and it's the point that describes your physical body, your vitality, your overall energy, your instinctive reactions, your approach to life, the way you meet the world, your physical presence, and your somatic tendencies. The rising sign isn't just how you appear, it's how you engage with life through your body. It's the lens your entire chart filters through. Oftentimes, especially on our spiritual journey, we sort of discount the physical body. Or let me not say discount, oftentimes we don't give it as much importance as our emotional bodies or our spiritual bodies, but your physical body is extremely important, obviously, because we live here on earth in this 3D reality, in this physical reality. What I love about the rising sign and just astrology generally is that it can be extremely literal. And when we're talking about your physical attributes, how you look, your rising sign can really detail a lot of those characteristics. Now, keep in mind, it's all very general, it's archetypal. It's not meant to say that every single Sagittarius rising has big hips, right? Even though that is a characteristic of Sag rising. But it just gives you an overall archetype for each sign. And when you want to know about your physical health, when you want to ascertain what's going on, of course, again, you would look to your sixth house, but looking at it also in conjunction with your first house, your rising sign, can give you so much information. All right, so without further ado, let's jump right in. So to begin, let's get into why this even matters and the general issue. So most of us treat our bodies the way we think we should, not the way our energy actually works. Much like everything, right? We're bombarded with information on what we should do, what everyone else is doing. Meanwhile, that information could be completely contrary to how we are designed. We force routines that exhaust us. We push our bodies into lifestyles that don't match our pace. We judge ourselves for not having the energy other people have. Hello, how many times have we heard that we have the same 24 hours as Beyonce? Okay. And we shame our physical responses, our instincts, and even our appearance. But your rising sign shows you how your body naturally wants to move, how you instinctively respond to stress, where your energy is the strongest, and where it leaks. The physical habits that support your overall vitality, and the environments that your body naturally thrives in. Understanding your rising sign is understanding your physical alignment. And if there's one thing that I want you to understand from this particular series is that alignment is multi-layered. even multidimensional. We have spiritual alignment that we talk about a lot on this spiritual journey. We have emotional alignment, as I really delineated in my previous video on the moon and your mental health. But physical alignment is also a thing, and it's a thing that shouldn't be ignored. Regardless of the fact that we are spiritual beings, we're still having a human experience. And taking care of this meat suit that you are lugging around every day is important. And of course, your natal chart speaks to that. It speaks to how you are physically designed. So let's get into your body's physical blueprint. So of course, we begin with fire rising signs. So this would be if you have Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius rising. Your body runs hot, fast reactions, quick movements, strong bursts of energy. You do best with physical expression, spontaneity, and action. One thing that your body typically hates or really dislikes is stagnation. Now, in terms of stress shows up as restlessness, tension, or impulsive energy. So because you guys like movement so much, and movement is very much a part of your physical blueprint, you may have an athletic looking body, a muscular looking body, but more importantly, fire rising signs typically tend to have a lot of energy, a lot of vitality. It's not to say that every single day you are running a marathon or you're always on or always hyper, but when it comes to, getting up and going, that's something that you guys do naturally. So when it comes to, what I spoke about before in terms of what you should do, movement should always be a part of what you do, your routine, your lifestyle. That's what helps you align your physical body with how you are actually designed. And so now let's move on to Earth rising. So this would mean that you are either a Taurus, a Virgo, or Capricorn rising. Your body moves deliberately, grounded, steady, and rooted. You thrive with routines, consistency, and sensory comfort. And by sensory comfort, I mean your 5 senses. Your physical system likes predictable rhythms. Stress shows up as tightness, heaviness, or digestive issues. So to my Earth risings, it's like you're not just gonna move for no reason. It has to be deliberate. And when it comes to your body type, you could have a body type that emulates groundedness, steadiness, stockiness. One of the things I've noticed with Taurus risings, and I'm a Taurus rising as well, tend to have kind of thicker ankles, right? Think of a bull and how a bull is physically designed, right? It's not to say that everyone has those attributes, but I have noticed that particularly with Taurus risings. But more importantly than that, to support your physical health, you need consistency. So this could mean eating at a certain time every day, exercising at a certain time every day. Comfort, consistency, and sensory and sensualness, your sensual nature, are very much encoded in your physical blueprint, okay? And so if you're having especially digestive issues, if you're feeling tight, if you're feeling heavy, get yourself on some sort of regular schedule. And as I'm saying this, the thing that comes to mind is getting regular, perhaps with your bowel movements even, right? Regularity, consistency, and sensory comfort are all necessary when it comes to your physical blueprint. Next, we have air rising. So this would mean that you are either a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius rising. Your body is light, responsive, and generally quick to adapt. You need variety, stimulation, and movement that feels mentally interesting. So it's not movement for the sake of movement, kind of like a fire sign rising. It's movement that feels mentally interesting. So for you, there is this correlation between physical movement and mental activity. Stagnation drains you emotionally and physically. And in terms of stress, it shows up as scattered energy, overthinking, or even shallow breathing. So, air sign risings, ease of movement is very prominent when it comes to your physical characteristics. So, this could be almost like fire sign in terms of your body composition. You move easily, light, you tend to be quite flexible, even. But like I said before, there is definitely a correlation between your mental and your physical. Okay. And so when it comes to your physical design, um, it has to be mentally stimulating. There has to be a mental element to it. And overthinking can really be a byproduct of stagnation or more so boredom, right? Especially because you're so mentally, your physical and your mental are so intertwined. Boredom can be a thing that can really get you overthinking, that can really get you in your head, have you very scattered. That mental stimulation, that curiosity is what keeps your physical body in tip-top shape. And remember, especially for you, a mental diet is extremely important, and really paying attention to what you mentally ingest, what you're listening to, the advice you take, the things that you watch and read, those are also going to have a direct impact on your physical body, okay? And finally, we have water rising. So this would mean that you are either a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces rising. Your body is intuitive. You feel before you think. Your physical state shifts with your environment and emotional climate. You need softness, emotional safety, and energetic boundaries. Stress for you can show up as emotional heaviness, fatigue, or somatic sensitivity. So you guys have bodies that are quite sensitive. It could be physically, right? You may be someone who has like sensitive skin, for instance. However, it's sensitive to your environment, and your emotions kind of go hand in hand with your physical blueprint, right? Much like with the air signs, how they are inextricably intertwined with their mental, you are inextricably intertwined with your emotional, okay? And so it's important for you to be very cognizant of your emotional environment kind of at all times, because you are like a sponge. And so when it comes to, and another point I want to make here is that your rising sign, your first house, your physical blueprint, it also has a lot to do with your outlook on life and even your mental state, right? And so for you, when it comes to those things, it's really important to be cognizant of your environment, because like I said, you guys are like sponges. You absorb everything. So be mindful of what you are emotionally ingesting. Set boundaries so that whatever anyone else is feeling stays with them and doesn't end up attaching to you, okay? But either way, especially when you are stressed, you can shut down. Taking naps is a big thing for you guys. I know, like when you are feeling too much, but just emotional heaviness that could also lead to physical exhaustion. Okay, so that's definitely something to keep in mind for my water sign risings. And so, of course, much like everything else, there is a shadow side to this. And this is the part that people rarely talk about. Your rising sign also shows the physical vulnerabilities that you tend to ignore. So, for instance, fire risings, you often push your bodies too hard. You guys are great at pushing your bodies to the limit, right? Which is a great thing, but sometimes you take it a little too far. And this is when you start breaking things, breaking your leg, breaking your wrist, and you have physical illnesses as a result of pushing too hard and maybe being too physical. Then with earth sign risings, you neglect movement until burnout hits. So it's almost the opposite. You guys will be sedentary. You will not move for long periods of time, and then you'll just get burnt out. You'll get stiff and all of the things that come with stagnancy. Then for air risings, you guys can live in your heads and even forget your bodies. Have you ever had a cold and been on cold medicine and you ever feel like your head is detached from your body? Like you feel like your head is floating in space? Air signs can be prone to that, right? So it's really important that you ground yourself so that your mental and your physical are connected as opposed to disconnected. And then finally, water risings. You absorb so much, or perhaps you absorb too much and struggle to discharge it. So now you feel emotionally heavy, sluggish, maybe physically exhausted because you are carrying around so many different emotions, many of which are not your own. And without the proper release, you definitely feel heavy, and that can lead to stagnancy as well. Keep in mind that your ascendant isn't just your mask. It's your vehicle. Like I said, this meat suit that we're carrying around in this 3D reality, it is the vehicle that houses our spirits, right? And your rising sign speaks to that. So your rising sign is your vehicle, and every vehicle has a maintenance rhythm. I want you to think of your rising sign as like going to the mechanic, right? If your car has an issue, you take it to the mechanic, they do a diagnostic and they fix it. Think of your rising sign as the mechanic shop. So think about and delineate what your rising sign is, how it affects your body, like how your body looks, how your body naturally moves. And then when you have issues, again, I would look to the 6th house of work and health first, especially if there's a transit there. But that's a subject matter I will discuss later on in this series. But first and foremost, look at your rising sign. Okay, if you're experiencing inflammation and let's say you're a Leo rising, maybe you need to take it easy a little bit. Stop pushing yourself so much. It's like literally your rising sign is your first foray into the world, number one, but it's also the first place you look when we're talking about the physical body. Now keep in mind, ignoring your rising sign leads to physical misalignment. Honoring it leads to strength and vitality. So the purpose of this video is to remind you that alignment isn't always just spiritual. It's also physical too. And when you're able to combine the two, that's when the magic really happens. So here is a simple wellness tip that you can use to shift the energy. It's a simple somatic alignment ritual for each rising sign element. So first, if you are a fire rising sign, start your day with movement. Even 60 seconds resets your whole body. Remember, movement is everything for you. You don't want to overdo it, but if you are feeling stagnant, if you need a realignment, a readjustment, think of it as like your regular oil change for your vehicle. Movement is going to be your best friend. Next, earth sign rising signs. Eat or drink something warm, plus grounding early in the day. I love this because I'm an earth rising sign and I have to have my cup of coffee first thing in the morning. It sets the mood and it's part of a consistent ritual and routine for me. And so this is a great way for you to get in alignment, especially if you've been experiencing a period of time where you can't follow your routine like you want to. You're being rushed. There's a lot going on. Getting back to a regular routine that involves your 5 senses is going to be your friend. Next, air sign rising signs. Deep breathing, breath work, or a quick walk to anchor your nervous system. Okay? Breathing, breath work, it sort of helps you connect the mental with the physical. And everything for you is nervous system. So anything that can reset and recalibrate your nervous system is going to be your best friend. And then finally, water sign rising signs. Cleanse your energy. Take a shower, take a bath, go to the beach, mist, water, sound, salt. You get what I'm saying here, right? Like water is your best friend. Water is your reset. Water is your oil change, right? So do that when you're feeling off, if you're feeling emotionally heavy. Okay, that is going to be your best friend. So essentially, your body speaks the language of your rising sign. And everything I've described in this video is how you can finally hear it and you can align with it. And physical alignment, I really think, is the first step before spiritual alignment. It can be really hard to get on the right frequency, to get on the right spiritual wavelength if your body is out of whack. So again, first place you would look, your rising sign. I'll never forget, in one of my natal chart consultations, I was working with someone who was a Sagittarius rising. Now, keep in mind that when I do my natal chart readings, it's very much based on technical astrological information, but also intuitive. And as I'm reading for her, the Sag rising was speaking really loudly, and I kept hearing larger than life, larger than life. And I kept telling her, listen, there's something about you that's like larger than life. I don't know if you're very like optimistic, or if you're like the life of the party, or you're very like you've got a big personality. And she was like, and she was floored. She was like, actually, I'm like 6'1". And so that larger than life, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, literally showed up in her chart with her height, right? And like I said before, your natal chart and astrology could literally be that literal, okay? It's like your rising sign, it can explain obviously how you look, your pacing, your instinct, your tension, stress, even your physical intuition and your outlook on life. Like I said, it's the very first place you would really want to look when you're talking about your physical body. Your rising sign isn't your style, it's your somatic identity. And when you honor it, your body begins to cooperate. If you want to understand how your chart affects your energy, your nervous system, and your physical wellness, then take my cute little self-care signature quiz, okay? It reveals your emotional and wellness archetype so you can build routines that support your body and your spirit. So if you're interested in that, the link is in the description box below. And if you're interested in working with me one-on-one via my signature natal chart experience, the blueprint, you can find the information for that down below, as well as some other goodies and resources. All right, my loves, that's pretty much all I've got for you for this video on your rising sign. Hopefully you were able to get at least one important piece of information that you can use going forward, and in the hopes that you can achieve physical as well as spiritual alignment. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.